Now, Buff, be patient. Takes a little doing to set these things up. Okay, boys, take it easy. Now we're ready to start. Sorry, folks. I'll be right with you. Give me a little intro there, Gomer.
From the Country Bear Jamboree, Peter Renaday. And I don't know if you heard did you hear when we introduced Peter that we played Country Bear Jamboree? Is anyone as like thrilled about Country Bear Jamboree as I am? I so wish I could see it every day. It still plays in Florida. Unfortunately, it's not here in California any longer. So Peter, what was your first Disney job?
Well, my first Disney job was in 1959 as a messenger at the studio. Got in as a messenger, and I was there for about 7 months, and then moved into the art props department, where we did a lot of framing and odd jobs like the book that opens with the Sleeping Beauty cover and things like that. The first day I worked, I got hired. I thought, someday I'll probably see Walt Disney in person. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but maybe. And I walked into the animation building for my first job, and here he is, facing me. I didn't see him again for about 2 months, but anyway. That was my first job, and then I started, I got into the Disney Players. There was a group called the Disney Players. It was a theater group on the lot. And they started seeing me in the plays there. We only did one a year for the benefit of the John Tracy Clinic. And that gave them the idea to start picking me up for some of those freebie jobs. Just go down to B Stage, they've got a little recording for you to do. And eventually they started paying me for it, which was nice. But I got on camera before I was really hired off camera in some of the old goodies like The Love Bug and Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
Barefoot Executive, $1 Million Duck, Strongest Man in the World, Shaggy DA, The Cat from Outer Space, and I got the Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again. All those.
That was about 30 seconds, man.
It doesn't matter, you're still in it, still counts. How did Country Bear come along?
Country Bear started off, I think, as a temp recording, like so many of those things, like Allison's. Temp recordings, and I think they had to program the bear to begin with. Henry was the first one they programmed. And it took about a year or so. I think they got so used to hearing my voice that they thought, oh, well, let's go with this voice. But anyway, that's how Country Bear got going. I was working for Albertino and that group of guys. And one thing led to another, one job led to another. Doing the Rocket to Mars narration, things like that.
Small little jobs like that. I just want to read a few that I have on my list here. So I also have you down for Rocket to the Moon.
Yeah, that's
right.
Right.
Rocket to the Moon, and then Mission to Mars. Snow White's Scary Adventures, we just talked about that one. That apparently you don't know you're in. The Country Bear Jamboree. Oh, Pete is on the sailing ship Columbia. He is the captain. But on the Mark Twain, he's the guy who does the Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, safe water, yeah. But I also do the narration for Mark Twain, if it's still on.
We have changed Mark Twain many times. You're still doing the narration from the Columbia.
Okay.
That will never go.
Good.
But Mark Twain has sailed away 3 or 4 times. Also Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Blast, the Astro Blasters, Disney Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which is ironically the attraction that is where Country Bears used to be. So it's sort of, and then Mickey's PhilharMagic. And many others. I couldn't put them all down because there wasn't time.
Well, the one thing that nobody remembers, and it lasted for about 10 years, but for the LP records, for those of you, if anybody out there is old enough to remember LP records, I did the voice for Mickey for about 10 years in things like Yankee Doodle Mickey, I'm a Yankee Doodle Mickey, you know, that kind of thing. Which I don't think I could do anymore, quite frankly. But that's a good list you got there, Brian.
Thank you, Peter. I do my research. Peter Renaday, everybody.